Open it up.
Oh,
I don't know what this name brand is here, but it's not bad.
is that non-alcoholic or alcoholic?
But yeah, it's not alcoholic, just regular.
Nice.
Lit a Lidl. I don't know.
Haven't
My
heard about
grandma,
it.
my grandma gets random stuff, but
Dude, what's up with did you see that White Claw created their own non-alcoholic seltzer? What is the point of that?
yeah, just get Polar or something like.
Exactly. Like why
It's the
is
brand.
I guess.
Hmm.
I just don't understand that at all. What's going on, everyone? You are listening to another episode of Cold Ones Conversations. I am Hollywood Hair. I'm joined by Brendan the Pod Petrilli. We cannot thank you enough for tuning in to the best show on the internet. Brendan, how are we doing today?
Doing well, yeah. 100 views on the last episode, hour-long episode on YouTube. It
All right,
was really
brother.
cool to see the numbers just keep on going up and up and up. Let's get those subscribers up too. We know everybody's out there watching it. We love all you. Appreciate all of you. And I'm guessing this is going to be a pretty highly clicked on episode. We should have recorded it earlier in the week while somebody was calling me at work to bitch and complain about his team, but it is what it is. We're here. It's a Friday, or it's a feel good Friday. We'll put it out tonight. Watch it before you go out to the bar or something. Get all your information. So when you go out to the bars tonight for Halloween, you can tell a girl, hey, the bod said take the Lions 10.5. All right. And maybe you'll look good.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're making you money. We're giving you the ability not only to get that beer at the bar or get that Diet Coke at the bar.
Yeah.
We're also giving you the ability to get an appetizer, a two for one. Texas to the tooth, by the way. Texas to the tooth. Okay, let's get into it, dude. We're gonna break down last week's games. We're gonna break down just two games from last week, and then we're gonna talk about some of the biggest news in the NFL today. Who wants to go first? You have the greatness. I have the devastation. Greatness or devastation?
Yeah, I'll go me first because I don't have a lot to say right now. I'm feeling good.
Yep.
I'm feeling good, man. You know, I'm rocking the C6 tailgate, the birds. Shout out Pit Stains. I was just out raking the leaves, mowing the lawn. We're hardworking men out here in Philadelphia, and that's what this Eagles team is doing. They're out here, they're balling right now. Like they're
Yep.
running the football, they're playing defense. Jalen's making plays when he has to. It's good, hard-nosed football that you've known that they've had. What made it so frustrating at the early parts of this season, where you're like, what's going on here? Why, like, we might have bigger issues, but it's finally starting to really come together. You It was kind of the first quarter still drive you nuts, but they were able to turn a corner where it was 17-17. Burrow went and got a big time touchdown to tie it up, and then the offense and defense just fully took over, and it was just a beatdown in the fourth quarter, and it was great.
I
Three
loved
weeks
it.
in a row almost where you're just beating down teams. You should have beat down the Browns better, but you know, you killed the Giants, you kill the Bengals. Hopefully you come out and you kill the Jags this week. This team is finally starting to make everybody feel good. I'm not totally super confident each and every week, but we're feeling better than what we have before. Jalen's starting to get in a rhythm. Saquon's an absolute stud. You have your receivers back. Your back off offensive linemen are absolutely dominating. Like
Yeah.
you can plug any offensive lineman into this system right now, and they will go out there and produce 100 yards rushing for this team. Like no problems asked, and it's good to see. The defense, I've always been high on the young defensive core. They're finally starting to fly around. I keep sending you memes of Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell, man. Like these two are absolute studs. Did you see the John Cena one?
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Cooper the Cena or something like that. Like the guy just flies around. They have
Yep.
good football instincts where like you've had guys with talent on this team the last couple years, but they didn't have that mentality of a lot of like Slay and some of these other guys, they were already superstars. These guys are coming up and want to
They're
prove
coming
that
up,
they are.
becoming
And they're
that. Right.
hungry and they're showing it. And it's fun to watch. It's fun.
Right.
Yeah, I'm
I,
not turning on an Eagles football game and I'm not depressed for 4 hours.
I
Like
hear you.
maybe for an hour, but like
Exact. And by the way, I got the used carsman pen
there you
going
go.
on.
There
We
you
always
go.
talk about that used carsman pen. Dude, I said it last week on the show. This was the mojo game for the Eagles. And I also said it had to be a mojo game if they
And I
won
was
in the
nervous about
fashion
it.
that they won. That's why I took the over that game and the over smash. And you're looking at that first quarter and a half of the second, and it did not look that way. I remember texting you, I'm like, dude, this does not look good for my over right now. The Eagles are not putting up the points. I knew that both squads would, right? Like I thought at the minimum that Cincinnati was going to put up a little bit more, but I believed more in that Eagles defense, even more than I did in the Cincy defense to step up, shut them down early. And again, I thought that Joe was going to be able to deliver a little bit more, make the Eagles a little bit more pressured. But dude, once you guys got to that second half, it became that game that I was talking about. It became that mojo game, a game that you can build upon. I think it is completely and utterly buried Cincinnati. Cincinnati is now done. That was a home game where you were going against a team that, if you're a Cincinnati fan, you got to recognize you weren't going against a team that's had their mojo. Eagles have been struggling. Eagles haven't been able
Yeah.
to put it together week to week. And they're in your house. And Joe has said, listen, you can win the next 9, win the next 10. You're at home, dude. This is where you capitalize. And the Eagles did what they needed to do, which was to take care of business. And again, what we said, I feel like last week on the show is just completely and utterly, honestly true that Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry, the two birds who will meet in the Super Bowl, we said it first on this show. Nobody else did. Take the bet. That's all us, by the way. They have completely and utterly proven that the skepticism that you do not pay a top tier running back is absolute BS. It's absolute BS. Because if you have a guy that can deliver the way that these two dudes can, you have a complete, utter arsenal that's available to your game that changes the whole dynamic, especially, on top of it all, not only are they hard runners and not only are they hard scorers, but both of our guys are proven they get open in the flat and they can score in the flat. They're not just delivering it from being behind the quarterback, they're delivering it while running a route. So, dude, yeah, this was big for the Eagles. And I think again, this is something where, they were going against at the end of the day, a top tier quarterback. Might not have been going against a top tier team, but they were going against a top tier quarterback. They're going against another good quarterback. You win those games, dude. The Eagles could find their stride where they could really start to make some noise here in the NFC. In my opinion, I'll just throw one more thing, not to keep blowing smoke because I'm not looking to. That win for the Eagles, though their record is worse, Cincinnati, that win is a bigger win for the Eagles than the 49ers beating the Cowboys because the quarterback is better in Cincinnati. So if you're hanging a hat
I
on
know what you're
who's that
saying.
second team who's coming into the NFC, I right now would put the Eagles a little bit more ahead of the 49ers. That's just my overall takeaway from that game. So yeah, dude, really huge win for the Eagles.
And that was the biggest question for this team going into that week was you played a lot of bad quarterbacks and they were taking advantage of Deshaun
Yeah,
Watson, Daniel Jones.
yeah,
I mean, Jordan Love played well week 1. You were able to get the win there, but Baker Mayfield picked you apart in that week 2 or 3 game, right? So you
yep,
were a little nervous the way Joe Burrow, with the very first drive, 10-minute drive, goes right down the field, gets them 7 points to start the game. You're like, uh-oh, this is going to be a long game if they can't stop them. They went 7 for 7 on third down conversions and on that very first drive. And it was going to be one of those situations where a team that had all the turmoil in the locker room, a team that has the coach that people are saying that the players aren't buying into the head coach, right? They could have rolled over and said, screw it, whatever. We're going to lose this football game. He's going to be gone after this game and we're going to move on. They
yeah,
didn't do that. They came out. The coach has some pull in the locker room after this game. It's proven at this point. There's
yep,
no more dysfunction where they can buy into the fact of any given Sunday, we have the talent, we have the makeup to go and put up points to make plays on defense where they could have just rolled over, died, and just and made it and made up to through it. This guy has been able to get the most out of their players. Finally, it's taken some time with the new coordinators on both sides of the ball, but they're finally starting to click. And now, how much is he really getting involved? Honestly, I hope not a lot because it seems like the less he's been doing, the better they've been doing. That the head coach Nick Sirianni, but
I got a
at
quick
the end
question
of
for
the
you on
day, they
that.
could have rolled over and died. They
Yeah,
didn't. They
they
came out
did
and it
it.
was the complete opposite where they put it on a team
Absolutely.
that where they were on the fringe of getting a knockout blow, they took it right to them. And it
Yep,
was good to see. And you were talking about our running backs, right? Saquon Barkley had 108 yards. No touchdowns because Jalen stole all of them with the
yeah,
tush push. But it's just so awesome to know like that was a quiet game for Saquon, and he got
Yeah.
108 yards.
Yep.
Devontae Smith, 85 yards and a touchdown, an absolute dime of a pass in the back of the end zone to catch
Great
that
pick by
ball.
us, by the way. Great pick. That
Oh,
was all
by
you.
us.
It was
I
about
told
you.
you.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was about
What did I
you.
tell you?
Yeah.
I was so hyped when that happened.
I know. By the
But
way,
yeah,
are we going to move away from the touchdowns and go back to
I
picks
know.
because
I
it's
think
not
we might have
delivering?
to.
We might
Are we
have
gonna
to.
stay tuned? But do we go 1-1, one touchdown each and one pick each, or do we just go all picks?
I think it's got to be one or the other.
All right. All right.
I would rather be all
We'll
touchdowns or all
keep
picks.
thinking. We'll keep thinking. But yeah, birds are kind of back. Kind of.
Last question for you about the birds, and I just want to know. I know that you were talking about the level being raised about Sirianni, things getting better, lack of him doing certain things. My question to you, Trill, is do you I mean, obviously in sports media, all the reports are always at a heightened level, whether they're good or bad. Nothing's ever as good as they say, and nothing's ever as bad as they say. But my question is it real, the dysfunction specifically between Sirianni and Jalen?
Yeah, I
You
would
think that
say
that's,
so.
yeah,
And
okay.
everything they say, yeah, because that's the biggest frustration where it was Nick Sirianni's definitely a weird dude and not a guy that's can rub people the wrong way, right? And
Yeah,
Jalen isn't an outgoing type of person. He's
right.
kind of a guy like if he likes you, he likes you. If not, he'll tolerate you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Jalen was starting to get rubbed the wrong way by Nick, and Jalen had the big contract. I'm not saying that's where his mindset was after he got paid, but it was starting to be like, hey, I need to start doing some other things. Maybe they were and Jalen wasn't saying the things that an Alabama quarterback would say that would push it away, that
Away.
controversy.
You're right,
He was
actually.
leaving the door open. Now
Yeah.
people are saying, well, he never said that. You're putting words in his mouth. But he didn't not
But that's
say
the
it.
point.
All
That's
you
the
have to
point.
do is just not say it, like
Yeah.
or say
Go against
something.
it. Outwardly
Yeah,
go against it.
yes, just
Yes.
be like, no, this is why are we even talking about it? Then it
Yep.
would have been over. Would have been
Yep.
over. So,
Yep.
but you could see every single week. I cut the post game audio and everything every single game, and you see Jalen Hurts this last week. I should start pulling the audio for us to play, to kind of spice up our level here. But he goes, paraphrasing, he was like, "There, oh well, what do you think of the offense?" He's like, "Yeah, we're definitely still not there yet." Like me and the coaches were still not there, but we're going in the right direction. So
Mhm.
him saying stuff like that, there's definitely still
Yeah.
works in progress that he's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I feel really good about it. We're going. He said, no, we're still not there, which is good that he realizes it at least.
Hmm.
So they're in a good spot right now. You're playing a lot of bad football teams. You can't fall into a trap against this Jags
You got to
team that I was
capitalize,
very high
right?
in at the start of the year. So I'm going to put that cushion out there. But no, you got to keep rolling these bad football teams. Winning heals all.
You got
That's
to
the
you got to
thing.
play like Dallas. Right now, the Eagles need to play like Dallas last year. That's what they got to do. They got to
Oh Lord.
capitalize big.
Oh, against
Do
bad teams. I know what you're
against
saying.
bad teams. They got to. All right, let's move
All
on to
right,
the
let's
dramatic
talk
part
about
of the
some
show.
losers here. A team that was supposed to be the
All
top
right.
of the league. Oh, roll Ravens, roll. We're the best. We're the baddest. Whoever
We
made the
are.
thumbnail even said, the Ravens run the NFL. Maybe that person jinxed it, but who knows? For them to come out flat the way that they did to a bad, bad, bad team. And what happened, Harry?
But let me ask you a quick question though. Is that true? Is Cleveland a
Now,
bad team,
oh,
or
now
is
we're
the
hyping up
no,
Cleveland.
no? I'm not. Now, what did I say about Joe
No, you were
Flacco all
high on
season long?
Cleveland. You were.
I've said it all season long. If Cleveland kept Joe Flacco, they'd be the third team in the AFC. I've said that since day one. They've just had a terrible quarterback. That defense is a
I'm
top
happy
five
for
defense.
Jameis.
And any day of the week, that defense is a top five defense in the NFL. Let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted. I don't care if they're going against Tom Brady. I don't care if they're going against Lamar Jackson. I don't care if they're going against Jalen Hurts. I don't care if they're going against Jared Goff. They're a top five defense week in and week out. The difference is that last year when their quarterback got hurt, they had a savior at backup who stepped up, who, by the way, is a top 10 quarterback. That's the next part of the show that we're going to get into. That's the only positive thing I can say about this, who will always be known as the former Raven. And then, yeah, they won, man. And I said you can't take that spread in the AFC North showdown. You just can't, because Cleveland, no matter who's playing quarterback, even if Deshaun Watson had played that game still would have been close because it's the AFC North. And I've always said it before. The teams that are always going to play the Ravens differently, just like we play them differently, are Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Cleveland. And the Ravens do, we have this DNA. It's so true about us. And this was the thing that I said on Saturday when I was at a high school friend's 60th birthday party for her mother. I was talking with all my friends who were there. We were talking about betting the game. And I said, dude, Baltimore has a very high school basketball DNA. And what I mean by that is when we're hot and we're dominating on bad teams, we go. But if we play an out of conference team, an MIA team that's a few levels below us, we go down to their level. That's what the Ravens have always done. We play to the highest high, and if we know that we can let off the gas a little bit, we do that. And what was the result? You once again saw Lamar Jackson being who Lamar Jackson is. Peyton Manning, I'm going to scream it from the rooftop the rest of this season. Getting 89 involved, showing Zay Flowers so much love throughout the game. By the way, Todd Monken proving he fully understands the capacity of the personnel that he has on the squad right now. What do you mean by that, Harry? I mean that you did not see Derrick Henry. You did not see Derrick Henry play an entire quarter between the second and the third until 3 minutes left in the third quarter. You're seeing that Derrick Henry is not on an outwardly known snap count, but he is internally, which is what I've wanted to see. You're seeing the offensive packages that are coming out, again, with Rashad Bateman, with having Aguilar opened up in the flat if no one else is there. Seeing Likely, obviously, he wasn't a big presence this past game, but we've seen him this whole season. And again, Mark Andrews now fully having his mojo back. And what it comes down to is I've been laying a lot of excuses. Here's the point of why the Ravens lost that game. I called so many of my friends. I called you specifically 2 days later. In all my years of being a Baltimore Ravens fan, and I think in our whole franchise's history, I have never seen the lack of defensive pressure set by a team ever in our whole organization go this season long. Go as long as this season has. We are 8 weeks in, going into 9 weeks, and we have not committed to a single game where our defense has said to the other side, we're going to put you in third and long all game long. I'm repeating what I said to you over the phone. We have not said that at all, that we're going to put you in third and long all game long. And what happened on that last drive that Cleveland scores on to go up by 1? You have a guy we did a Harry Heats. They did a Harry Heats rugby style. They went shoulder tackle.
Not even
Nobody
shoulder. It
lowered
was
it.
like it
It
was
was
the
it was
magic
all
fingers.
arms. It was all arms. We let a guy walk into the end zone. Where is that Ravens pressure put you on your ass all game long? Where is that? This is the whole reason about what I said last week when we brought up the Hopkins trade. What was my answer? I don't feel that we need to go get another offensive piece, which if we want to get into, we can, because we did acquire. We need real pass rush. We don't have a January pass rush right now. And we saw it this game. When you put a guy who's comparable with that Cleveland defense, like Jameis Winston, what happens? They can score. They can actually put together a good game plan. And when you don't have, I don't know what is going on with Roquan. You're seeing that his leadership in not having Mike McDaniel as his coordinator, it's going through that last season Eagles experience where you guys were in the Super Bowl 2022, lost your coordinators, and we see the result. Our players are not playing the same, and that comes down to coaching. That comes down to coaching no matter any way that you cut it. Our offense is proving that there is not another offense that's better than us right now in the league. I will say that maybe outside of Detroit. Absolutely. I don't care even if Patrick and Kelsey get it down. We're on the same level as them offensively. But our defense is going to kill us if we don't get. I'm getting angry right now. I really am. I'm getting angry.
Before we keep going here, Harry, I'm just gonna do a quick little cut. I'm gonna use this first half for BSP Media, and we're gonna do a little crossover. So if you're tuning in here at BSP Media, this is gonna Cold One Conversations. It's Harry Heaps. It's me. We do everything NFL. Obviously, Harry's
I have a headache now.
He's got a headache talking about the Ravens. So if you want more of that, go check out Cold One Conversations. The link is in the bio. But thanks everybody for tuning in for BSP Media. We're gonna do some picks coming up here. But Harry, that phone call was magical. It was.
Wasn't from
Because
me.
what you just did is what I hear on a daily basis for 4 hours
Yeah.
after an Eagles loss. When the Eagles win, it's nothing like that. When the Ravens win last week, everything's great, fine, and dandy. But all of a sudden, the team stinks, the defense stinks, the coaching stinks. We
It
can't
does.
stop nobody.
It
They
does.
they they don't know what they're doing.
They
Now,
don't.
you and I have both been on the same level of the running backs. We're okay with them not getting the touches, but we got to run the football more. Why aren't we running the football?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's the ebbs and flows of
Yes.
cities, sports cities that
Yeah.
care so much about their teams. And it's funny. I'm sitting here smiling at you get into it because
Yeah.
I know exactly what you were feeling last week, how you
Yeah.
were puffing your chest out. We're the best ever. We don't need any more weapons. We don't need this.
Yep.
We all we need. Ocho's the man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Jameis Winston comes in there and beats that ass with a game-winning
Oh.
drive, and it sucks, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
I actually feel like I'm going to throw up right now because I'm so just regurgitated. So at the end of the story, here's where I'm just going to end off. I'm going to make this decree coming off of a loss, and we're going to clip that part where I said how angry I was. By the way, the Ravens undoubtedly, with the way that we are playing, even right now after that game, do we have the potential to be in the AFC Championship? Absolutely, we do. We will win whatever rounds we get because we're not going to get a bye. We will win all of our playoff games. I truly believe that
The
until the
bye's
AFC
gone
Championship.
already.
Well, but I don't. I honestly, I think that the Chiefs have proven that they're going to have the best record in the NFL. They're not going to win more. We're not going to pressure the quarterback if we're going to let guys walk into the end zone. And frankly, it's not even about just dominating the line of scrimmage. If we're not going to let the wideouts and inside guys know we're going to put hands on you all game long, then Lamar can keep being the incredible quarterback that he is, but then he's the one winning the game. And you can't ask your quarterback to win every game for you. You can ask your quarterback to win you 10 games, 11 games. You can't ask him to win 17. Chiefs are proving that day in and day out. Look at that defense.
Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes, I would argue right now, dude, Patrick Mahomes, we're going into what, week 9?
dude, he
Patrick
hasn't played a
Mahomes has
good game
maybe
yet.
won, they've maybe won, he's maybe won 2 games for them so far this season.
Yeah, no, he hasn't played great at all. I mean, he's played good football, but not
Not great.
elite
He hasn't played
level.
Patrick Mahomes level
Yeah,
football yet.
yeah.
All right. Top 10 quarterback change. Listen, we broke the news live on this show when we were live in the draft 2 years ago. I told you that the Colts were going to step up and take Anthony Richardson, and I loved him in college. I loved him when he was in Florida. I called it live. Trilly goes, Harry, what do you think the move is right now? Them moving up. I go, Trill, they're taking Anthony Richardson, and boom, they take him. Dude, how do you come off and say that you were tired?
Oh
How
yeah,
do,
that's
how do you say that in a press conference?
I don't. It's interesting to
Like,
see.
honestly,
Imagine saying Lamar or Jalen saying that. Like I don't think
it would never happen.
Is Indianapolis really ripping him that? I don't know. I'm not in the media out there. I don't really follow too much, but
Oh, dude, I think that's the main reason why he got benched.
is the backlash good? It should be. Honestly,
Absolutely.
like that's insane to say
Absolutely.
that as a quarterback of a NFL
You're
franchise
the
to
leader of a team. You
yeah.
got tired?
Yeah. How do you expect somebody
It's your
who's just
job.
blocking for you, that's getting cut blocks in front of you every single play to go, hey, I need a second on this one? No, that doesn't happen for offensive linemen.
I just want
Like,
to make something clear. For every fan that's as passionate as us, we would give our lives to be tired on an NFL football team. Like
yeah.
that's what we would live for, is to say that we're tired behind center. And you say that you got to sub out. I
Bro,
mean,
you can call up run plays if you want. Sit back there and hand the ball off for 2 plays till you get your breath back. They do it all the time. What do you think Tom and Peyton and all these guys back in the day would do? That
would do
like
all the time, 100%.
all the time. It's
100%.
a veteran move, is what
Yeah.
they'd call it. Like, all right, I'm a little tired. Mike Vick, after going off, all right, let's run the football a couple times here. And Mike Vick's
Yep.
moving around everywhere. All right,
Yep.
let's give it to LaShawn McCoy. Let's give it to these
Yep.
other guys. Like, how stupid are you, man?
But let's talk about it, dude. I completely feel, and honestly, I think it should have been the start of the season. I genuinely believe right now, dude, this is a huge upgrade. This is what I said during the offseason when we were going into this NFL season. Joe Flacco is about to prove why other teams like the Raiders And like even, to be honest, a team like the Patriots I had brought up as well should have hired him to be their starter and not their backup. Joe Flacco right now, yes, he gives the ball away. I understand that. But he also slings the rock consistently into the end zone. And his understanding, his maturity, talking about a Super Bowl winning NFL quarterback. We're talking about a quarterback who the reason why so many teams have hired him, brought him back, is because the dude does it week in and week out. He's obvious. He's without a doubt right now the best backup in the NFL. There's no question about that. And he's got a chance right now, dude. I will be honest, to give the Colts, I think, a playoff opportunity if he plays the rest of this season. I mean, I don't know too much. I'm not going to act like I do about the Colts' upcoming schedule, but here, let's just look at it real quick, dude. They're 4-4 right now. They're 500. Let's break down the teams that they got coming up. Here we go. Prime time, they're going to be against Minnesota. That's going to be a test. And I would say that you're going to lose that game. And I would say that you're going to lose Buffalo. So you go to 4-6. You've got the Jets. That's a win. Now you're at 5-6. You got Detroit. That's a loss. You're at 5-7. New England. That's a win. 6-7. Denver. That's a win. 7-7. Titans. That's a win. 8-7. Giants. That's a win. 9-7. Jacksonville. That's a win. 10-7. You absolutely have the ability right now at a minimum to go 10-7. And that's me going higher on the losses. This could be an 11-win team right now with Joe. This is
Yeah,
a big upgrade.
and I think the biggest thing when you're going through that's a win. If Anthony Richardson's their quarterback, that's like they should win,
They
but you
should
can't.
they should
But
win. Correct.
but it's not a
Correct.
guarantee that's a win. Like with
Yes.
him at quarterback right now, it's be like he should be able to get us over the hump and win that game. But do we know if he can really do it? I don't know.
Indianapolis with Joe Flacco is absolutely a playoff team. They've completely upgraded. Dude, they could honestly, I will say this, with what we've seen from Buffalo, they could beat Buffalo. I think that Josh Allen obviously pulls out. He's the better quarterback. They are the better team. But we've seen Buffalo make mistakes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
hmm Yeah, and
Like,
it's interesting because they wanted to this whole situation with Richardson, right? They kind of threw him into the fire here, but they wanted him to sit a little bit behind Matt Ryan, but that was just such a colossal failure
yeah.
that they just ended up just started rocking with Richardson at that point. They're like, all right, we got another. He's the best option. Now he's not the best option. You can give him that time to develop and learn how to be a quarterback where he's not just out there just being a gamer. He can sit and learn and see how Joe Flacco goes about the different play calls, the different reads, the different situations and game managing where he doesn't have all that pressure on him where he's kind of learning on the fly because he only played what, like 11 games in college or so, like
Mhm.
some like not very many games at all in
Yeah.
college
And at
where
Delaware, by the way. We're not talking about a powerhouse school. You know what I'm saying?
no, I'm talking
Oh,
about
you're talking about
Richardson
Anthony. I'm sorry. I thought
at
that you were talking about Flacco for a
Florida.
second. No,
No, I mean
no.
Flacco, yeah, of course, but he Richardson can sit behind Flacco now and
Right.
learn moving
Yes.
forward where
Which
that's
is
kind of where they
what
wanted to.
we've said. Yes.
But they threw him in there. They were seeing what they could get, and they were just kind of at a point where they were going to rock with him the rest of the way because they already have him in there. I don't think it's a panic button on Richardson for his career yet. I think this is
No,
a good thing for him. It's how he responds,
no.
honestly, where Joe Flacco can go and take you on that playoff run. He just can't take it personal. Anthony Richardson. He's got to be like, this is what's for the team. This is instead of tapping out. This isn't you tapping out. This is what the team needs to win. I'm all for it. I'm here to learn because next year this should be my team.
Well, and I think it's also going to teach him specifically about leadership. Because let's
Yeah.
say one thing about Flacco quickly that people who watch this show will not remember unless you're as long of a Ravens fan as I am. There are only a basic few things that should be allowed to get an NFL quarterback out of being at a game and starting at a game. And Joe Flacco hit one of those few. And I remember there were disgusting Ravens fans who were like, I can't believe you didn't come play. And I was thinking to myself, are you kidding me? If you had the birth of your child, and Joe Flacco had his third child born on an NFL Sunday, and he was with his wife and his family as he should have been, you don't need to be playing. That's your family. That's longer than football. That's everything. That's your child.
He's a
But
good
that's it.
Philadelphia
But
man, you know.
but that's it. Anthony Richardson, you got to realize this is the only guy that you can look up to who's had an actual excuse that's fair enough in the NFL to say, I got to sub out, I can't play. You saying that you retired, dude, you can't do that. You can't do that. And in all honesty, I will just say this about Indianapolis. Indianapolis, when they acquired Joe Flacco, should have made him the starter from the beginning, from the sole purpose that the season before they got their drafted quarterback concussed. Give him a chance to learn all season long. He's already now injury prone in or likely injury prone in his short time in the NFL. Let him have time behind a guy that you just saw all season long when he was with Cleveland. Do it. Joe Flacco's got a real chance here to make this Indianapolis team an 11 win, if not 10 win team. This could be a playoff team.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Last thing I got to bring up from last week. I know that we were going to go right to picks, but I do just have to say this really quickly because we said it the week before and we're going again. Dude, I think something's going on in Pittsburgh. I think something real deal is going on in Pittsburgh right now. I mean, I want to, I want to
Russie,
look. Well, I mean, dude, I
Russie's.
understand. I understand that they're coming off of two wins that are against bad teams. Don't get me wrong. They're coming off of two wins, one against the Jets, one against them. But dude, let's look at it right now. They got Washington and us coming up. They can absolutely compete with Washington. They will most likely split with us. But dude, they got some hard teams the rest of the season. They've had the light schedule they had up front. But you think about it, dude, you get your light games out of the way. The rest of the team's got their mojo. Russ is looking like he's playing well in the system. I think the Steelers have a chance to beat. I think they're going to be that third team in the AFC when you really look at it. I really do. I think they're going to be the third seed. I mean, they're sitting right now at what, 6-2?
Yeah,
Play the
with a
Chiefs,
bye
that's a
week.
loss. It's a loss with us. I mean, they're
Yeah,
probably going to end up being like 12
I'm
and
not really ready to jump on the Steelers wagon until I see how they play against the Ravens. If they battle the Ravens tough and they really give it to you a little bit, and where that's a good hard-nosed divisional football game, then I'm like, all right, I can see them really causing issues. They could win a playoff game.
I'll say this, dude. I'm going to back you up. If they beat Washington by one score or more, I'm already there. If they can go to Washington with the way that Jaden Daniels is playing and the rest of that squad and hold him down and they win by 10, I think that they've already proven that they've got playoff potential.
If they win by 10, yeah. If that's a close game too, I'm kind of like, and
Sure,
I'm
if it's a
not
close
I'm not
game.
in
Yeah.
on Washington here. I'm not. I'm not.
They're going to the playoffs, dude.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they'll win.
Fair enough.
Doesn't
Fair
mean they'll
enough.
win.
Okay.
Uh,
We go into picks?
yeah, yeah. We
Do
want to
it.
take a break real quick, or are
Yeah,
we
let's take
good?
a break. Yep.
Uh,
Dude.
I keep nailing that one touchdown score. I Devontae the week before, last week, AJ
Whoa.
weeks
Who
ago.
said Devontae?
Yeah, okay.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh no, no, Devontae. Sorry. Yes, yes, yes.
No, you were
I thought
Devontae Adams.
Adams. Yes, yeah.
No. But anyway, all right, let's get into it. But everybody's here. We're here to make money. I think I went 2-3 last week after the big. We went 10-0 combined 2 weeks ago. This week I didn't do as great, but it
That's
is
what
what
we
it
hang our
is.
hat on. That's what we hang our
Yeah,
hat on.
we're gonna keep hanging on the week 7. Week 7 was a great week
Yep.
for all of us. Because that was the worst week for Vegas in a long, long time. They were reporting, and it's glad we were on the right side of it. Because it
That's
could have
right.
been we were losers that day, and like,
Yep.
wow, Vegas took a big hit and we still lost. But at least we were on the right side of history there. And we're looking to get back on it. So, Harold, let's go. We're gonna give you 4 picks, our certainties, and then we were talking about it over the break. We're gonna do one of our favorite picks each, and one of our favorite touchdown picks each. So no more 4 touchdown scores. We feel really confident about one guy each to get into that end zone. One pick. We're gonna make some money. Here we go.
First pick, dude, I'm coming out hot. I think that they're due to cover. I think that this other team has been way too hot often. Um, and yeah, I just think it's due Green Bay Packers plus the 2.5. It's in Green Bay. Nobody's going to know how to handle this Lions offense better than an in-division rival, especially like the Green Bay Packers. Packers plus 2.5.
I like it. I was thinking about their money line. I was thinking about them money line. Ooh.
I don't know if they're that due. I'll just take them to cover.
Because I think this Lions team's they've been putting up a lot of points against some bad
It's
teams.
got to slow down.
They're ready. They got to play some good football teams here, and I think the Packers are a good football team.
Hmm.
But talking about good football teams, I still believe in them. I'm interested to see what you think. Oh, the line actually just went up full point because Vegas knows. I was gonna take the Ravens 8.5. I'll take them 9.5 now.
It just went up?
Yeah, I was looking at it before. It was not 8.5. It just went to 9.5.
No, it did. Oh my gosh, I just refreshed 9.5. Wow. So you're riding them again. Ravens minus the 9.5. All
Last
right.
week was the only time I've lost betting the Ravens.
I hear you.
I feel good about them, even though
I
you
hear
had
you.
a mental breakdown earlier.
Please.
But we take deep breaths.
No.
They're gonna come out. That Broncos team hasn't played anybody good. Bo Nix stinks. The defense is gonna get right for this Ravens team. They're gonna roll.
Dude, how is Washington only favored by 3.5? Why is that line not higher at like
Yeah, I
4?
I I saw that too.
I think
I
that's
don't know.
very interesting. I mean, the total on that game is what, 44.5? I don't know. I don't know. I like the over in the Dallas Atlanta game. And I love Atlanta here. I really do at home against Dallas.
That
Mm.
would be nice. Atlanta just put Dallas away at that point. Yeah, that's gonna be my pick. Give me the Falcons.
You want the Falcons? Okay. ATO minus 3. I'm going I'm riding with it. Colts plus the 5.5.
Colts.
Yep, plus the 5.5 against
Yeah,
Minnesota.
I
And
like
then
that.
I will tell you, man, I really like, especially because they're coming off of 2 losses, and I think they're due. I can't believe I'm going all dogs here so far for 3 picks in a row. Well, yeah, I can. I love the Buccaneers at 8.5.
I was looking at that. I was also looking at their total. I
I,
like the
I
45.
I just always get nervous that when's the game where Travis really wakes up? Because every week you get closer and closer to it. And I would absolutely be taking the Bucks if it was in Tampa. But given that it's in KC, that's where I feel like Travis has a chance to heat up. You know what? I do. I like that. You like the over in that game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Earthquake?
Earthquake.
Earthquake! Okay. We're taking the over. Go ahead with your next pick, bro.
My fourth and last regular pick here. I haven't bet them all year, and I'm not gonna do it.
Okay.
Oh, real quick though, Phillies just traded a legend, minor league legend that I have to text this to people because people would know. Scott Kingery traded to the Angels for Mike, no, for cash. But he was one of those guys that he was
You're an
supposed to be
idiot.
the next like I don't know, but whatever. Scott Kingery moved. Sorry, that just sidetracked me big time there. You go. I gotta text this to people.
You know, man, I'm wondering about this Bills line at minus 5.5. Miami did show some life into them with Tua back. I know that they lost by 1 against the Cardinals. It's in Buffalo. I think that everyone's going to be betting Buffalo here because they've just owned the Dolphins. And my question is, does that
Yeah,
continue?
Josh Allen's 7-0 at
What I
home
think is
against the
more
Dolphins.
interesting is that at home, Cleveland, I think that Cleveland should be favored.
Against the
Cleveland should be
Chargers.
favored,
I like that.
but they're not. So my question is everyone now betting Cleveland? I might have to ride the Chargers here, minus the 1.5. Did the Chargers win last week?
Yes.
What
They
was the
beat
score of that game?
28 to something. It was an ugly football game.
28. No, they won big, 28 to
Yeah.
8, 26 to 8. And I took them. I took them minus the 7.
Yeah, I took the Saints. Yeah, I was dumb.
Yeah. And that was our head to head. You lost
Yeah.
that badly.
Whatever.
Um, yeah, I think everybody's going to bet the Browns here, man. It's a pick 'em, but what way do you think the majority of money is going on that game, honestly?
I myself personally, I see. Jameis Winston as an underdog again, I kind of would want to go that way. Brian and Jameis.
Yeah, I like the Chargers here.
Uh, give me this is a must-win game
That's my last pick.
for the Bears. Give me a money line.
Bears money line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what a stab that was, right?
That last game hurt. And their
Bad.
locker room's kind of reeling a little bit, blaming each other, who's wrong, this and that. They need to come out. That Cardinals defense stinks. This is a get right game for Caleb and that offense to get going again. I like the Bears there. They need to win this, especially where they're coming up against their NFC divisional opponents moving forward. They need to get this win to give them a good cushion to maybe make the playoffs by the end of this gauntlet that they got coming up.
Okay, on to our certainties.
I said I wasn't going to bet them, but I'm not betting them. But I'm seeing points. Kelly Green jerseys, Doug Peterson in the building, LaShawn McCoy getting retired, 45 and a half over. Eagles, Jags. We're getting points.
Wow. Wow.
Points, points, points. The Eagles are putting up points again. This offense is rolling. Saquon's going to look sexy in that Kelly Green. AJ's ready to roll again. The Eagles might put up 45 themselves.
Okay, that's crazy. On to real
They
talk.
put up 37 last week. What are you
Oh,
talking about? Without putting up a point in the first quarter, they put up 37.
I'm going back to my tried and true. Last year, who was my tried and true? The Saints. Who's been my tried and true this year?
What? Well, the Browns, but the Jet.
No.
Well, you love the
I have
Browns.
bet a lot on the Jets, actually, which has
Yeah,
not been good.
yeah.
Rams minus the one and a
Oh,
half.
the
Dude, this
Rams. Yeah.
team is getting their guys back. They are on the road. Seattle, obviously, they're favored. It's a pick 'em. It's a 1.5 spread. Seattle here is, the line's not bigger because people believe that Seattle could still stay in it. And I don't doubt that they can. But the difference is, I've said it before, I'll say it again. When Nine is healthy and he's got his guys, we're seeing what I said last week and what you've said last week, Trilly. The Rams are not a bad team. They're a team that's been riddled with injuries. And you see what happens when they've got their guys back. Rams, 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 Rams minus 1.5.
All right.
Off the show. Okay, so a recap. Trilly's picks. Ravens minus 9.5. Atlanta minus the 3. It's our earthquake. Tampa, KC over the 45.5. And Bears money line with his lock, aka our certainty. Eagles, Jags over 45.5. Harry, myself, my picks. I love the Packers plus the 2.5 at home. Colts on the road plus the 5.5. Joey Flacco leading the helm. Our earthquake, Tampa Bay, KC over 45.5. Chargers, I love this line. They're on the road minus the 1.5 against the Browns. And then my lock, my team that I'm riding with all game long. Nobody's better than 9. Rams minus the 1.5. On to our parlay. We decided off. We decided off the air. I sounded like an auctioneer there. I'm glad I had the pen. That we're doing 2 picks, 2 regular picks, and 2 touchdowns. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it's hard giving you 4 touchdown picks. Like, we're always hitting it at 50, but it's hard. And we are here to make money.
We are hard.
Okay. On to the next. Man,
Saquon Barkley touchdown all day, every day.
I think that's, yes, I love that.
Especially Jalen just got 3 last week. They're gonna give it to him.
Yep.
Shady's in the building. Yeah, Saquon all day.
Do we go to the Ravens or do we go straight to the other team? I'll tell you what, man.
Oh, but I'm looking at Saquon minus 180 though.
Yeah, that's the only thing. The value's not
Yeah,
great there. I was wondering if
but
you were going to bring
sometimes you
that
just
up.
got to take it. All right,
You
we'll
know what,
keep
man?
going.
You know what? And look, I hate this. They don't have the touchdowns for Tampa Bay, KC. They suck.
How about Grand Calcaterra, 370? Eagles defense, 550.
Justin Jefferson, minus 120.
I like Jay Jetta. I like
Or
Jay Jetta.
Jonathan Taylor, plus the 110.
Nah, I like Jay Jetta. I
So we're
like Jay.
taking out the Eagles, right? We're taking out Saquon. Yeah.
Fine. Do we go Jalen again?
No, that's no.
I want winners, Harry.
I
I
know.
I know my Eagles. I know who's gonna score. This is a classic give the ball to Saquon game.
CD plus the 110 or plus the 100?
He's
Or
all.
do we say that or do we go Tyreek Hill plus 135?
I like Tyreek.
Yeah, me too.
I like
Okay,
Tyreek.
so those are our two. Justin Jefferson, Tyreek.
Yeah.
And
All
now we
right.
each get a pick. You're first.
Well, should we go the earthquake, the over in that Monday night game?
Is that too much pressure on it?
No, I think that's the right amount of pressure because
Okay.
it'll recap the whole thing too. Monday night, the
Mm-hmm.
parlay hits,
Mm-hmm.
so I like it.
I like that, and I like we like that Chicago money line?
Dead air. I do. I do.
I like the Rams more minus the 1.5.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah, I know you did.
How about
Or we
you
could
like
do
the
the under,
Chargers?
or we could do the under Detroit and Green Bay under.
No, no, no. It's Chargers. How you like the Chargers? No.
Do we like the Chargers or we like the over in that game? Because it's two defensive squads going head to head, rely
Mm.
heavy on the run.
Yeah, we're moving away. Moving away. I like the Bears. Fine. All right. I like the Rams.
No, no, no. Let's not do that because we didn't. Neither one of us touch the game. Let's make a pick on the Dallas Atlanta side.
I mean, I already took
Over.
Atlanta, but
You
I like
did.
the over.
I like the over too.
All
51.
right. Book it.
Oh, but those odds are just send me my 15
Yeah.
right now. I want my free bet.
No, nobody that part's getting cut out, so nobody knows.
All right. 15 wins to 216. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for another show. We love being here. We'll be back next week. We'll have our picks up on the Instagram.
Yeah.
Go Ravens.
What did I tell you? And Mike Trout, right? I sent that to two different group chats, and people go, and Mike Trout.
Yep.
In both group chats. What I
Yep.
said is exactly what other people sent right away. What did I
Yep.
tell you? Yeah, but all right. Shout
We need
out,
hold on,
ladies.
hold on. Let's do real quick. And the show. I gotta ask you a question as our true baseball enthusiast. I'm a baseball guy, but you're a baseball
Oh yeah,
enthusiast.
we didn't talk baseball. Yeah.
So I gotta just ask you a question, and you tell me
Yankees lose.
if this we can talk about how that got me over the Ravens loss if we want to. We can just talk about how great that was. But I want to just ask you a question, truly. It would have been more prominent what I'm about to say if the sweep would have occurred. So it loses a little bit of its stamina, but not really. Have we now completely entered a new timeline in baseball where baseball magic cannot overcome payroll?
I hope so. That means that the Phillies got a chance to win. You know?
But is that bad for the sport? Because I think it is.
I don't think so.
I think if you
No,
put that
well,
Met
people
squad,
hated the way the last 2 years went with a bunch of these magical runs.
okay,
It was fun for what it was, but at the end of the day, you weren't getting that juice. You weren't getting those star players. Nobody cared about Texas versus Arizona. Nobody
that's
cared.
true. That's
I
true.
mean,
You're
people
right.
cared at Houston, Philly. Those are two big teams, but like
Is
this
Soto
year,
leaving?
Soto,
You gave your answer. On to the next. Is Soto leaving or is he shopping? I think he's
he's
shopping.
shopping. He's shopping. I'd like him to come to Philly.
But nobody. But here's the thing. Here's my
I don't
question
see
to you
it's
then.
realistic,
So
but
here's my question to you then, though. If he's shopping, if he is shopping, then he doesn't want to be a Yankee. And the only reason why I say that is nobody's going to be able to pay him what the Yankees can pay him.
I mean, the Mets can, the Phillies can, the Dodgers can. Like,
They can pay him the same amount of committed money that the Yankees can. The Phillies can, honestly.
yeah, 100%.
Your ownership will put that in. Okay.
100%.
Okay.
100%.
I know the Mets
Whether it's
will.
the right move, I don't. That's a lot because then you're taking away from other things. The Phillies got three bullpen guys leaving, which might not be a bad thing.
Do the
But
Orioles.
what? Yeah, the Orioles aren't shelling that cash. Get out
Do
of here.
they might. They might. They might.
They got to give it to Gunner and Adley.
Yeah, but that's coming. And that's only going to be not his money. They're not getting his money. What do you think he's going to get, honestly? You think he's going to get over 500?
What, Soto? Yeah, 6 and 11 years.
Because I think that Gunner's probably going to get around 3 to 4, and Adley's going to get just under 3.
Yeah. Yeah, Soto's probably around 6 and 10 years for sure.
Yeah. That's a show, ladies and gentlemen. Go Ravens.
Shout out to 215. Go Birds. Like, follow, subscribe. Love you.